one, a violent vertical edge setter.
I see some gas off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drive. You're finished. Hey, first down. He's a weird kid. Worse than that side.
All right, everybody. We are back here for a little Jets football talk on the After Hours Jets Fest. Welcome. I am GreenBean, and we're going to hang out for a little while, After Hours style, where we kind of shake off all the remaining vestiges of Jets chit-chatter from the previous stream, the 2-hour-long Talking Jets panel on Talking Jets Network with the great Matt O'Leary and Ryan Jets Talk 24/7, the two greatest of all time, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, let's shake it off. The title of the Braden, I just saw your comment, man. I was literally just looking at it not 1 minute before the stream. It's good to see you, my friend. I missed you as well. It's nice. It's nice to have you back, man. Braden from New Zealand hanging around. He's like, this season sucks. If I could have left, I might have. Left, Braden. So where are we with everything? Dakota's in the house. Loving some Aaron Glenn. Lots of Jets fans are excited with the idea that the one-time New York Jet Pro Bowler, was he an all-pro for us? I forget. He was definitely a Pro Bowler. Cornerback and scout for the New York Jets. You might not remember that, but he was a scout. He got back into the football game. He was running restaurants down there in Houston, and he decided to come back into football, and he did that with the Jets as well. He was a scout for us for 2 years. So the idea that Aaron Glenn's going to come back and coach, he had his second interview today, did leave the building. The report that we got was that, let me see if I can find it here. The report that we got was that he flew back to Detroit on Woody Johnson's jet and was already starting to compile a staff, and that a substantial offer was made. So who knows? Maybe that's what's happening. Now, remember, I think it was the Thursday thick of it. I was talking about the difference. Like, everybody's a Josh McCown guy. I don't know why, I like Josh McCown well enough. He's fine. But I don't get the passionate love affair with him being a head coach. I don't see the data to support it, right? Maybe he's going to be great. I mean, I don't know. But I love to say, okay, well, show me. Show me why. I mean, we could always take a risk, right? You say, I just got a feeling about this guy. Okay, well, if that's what you're doing, then say that. I just got a feeling about this guy. And I fancy myself a good judge of character, whatever else. Okay, if that's what we're doing, that's fine. But I don't see the love affair. I don't get it. 2 years as a quarterback coach, 1 year for the Panthers with Bryce Young. Didn't exactly put him on he didn't do anything last year. Fair enough. And then this year, he did a great job with Sam Darnold for Minnesota. So there's that. Okay. But that's it. And then he had 16 years in the NFL where he was he's a starter for some years, but largely a backup quarterback. And we were talking about in the previous stream, was brought in to be a mentor. He was here during Sam Darnold's rookie year and was a mentor for Sammy, which is why it made so much sense for Sam Darnold to be reunited with him up in Minnesota and all that jazz. There was already a very strong chemistry level, comfort level with each other. But, the guys that Sam didn't do that great under his tutelage, and guys like Johnny Manziel and some others, it's like, okay, I don't know what Josh McCown has done. But the guy rumored in the report was the guy that I was saying makes more sense as an offensive coordinator for the Jets. And that's Mark Brunell. Now, there's also thoughts that maybe Mark Brunell will follow Ben Johnson down to, or not down, but over to Chicago. Ben Johnson, the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. They're very excited with a young quarterback up there. First overall pick last year. Caleb, right? So they're excited about that. And so maybe Brunell follows him there and is the OC there. But maybe, just maybe, Aaron Glenn decides to bring Mark Brunell here. Now, Mark Brunell, just as many years as McCown in the NFL, was brought here. He ended his football career, playing career with the Jets. So he's another Jet coming back. Was mentoring Mark Sanchez when he was here, to the tune of 2 AFC championship games. So that's a thing. And look what he's done with Jared Goff. Jared Goff had over 4,600 yards this year. If you look at Jared Goff with McVay, and as soon as he gets to Brunell in Detroit, his completion percentage goes up, his QBR goes up, everything goes up. So Mark Brunell, we're looking at McCown as doing a good job with Sammy Sams. Brunell did an even better job with Jared Goff, who was considered at the time of the trade kind of a throwaway, a filler quarterback for a year. Don't forget, Detroit got 2 first-round picks in that trade. So that would give them 2 firsts for 2 years. Everybody thought it was going to be the ammo for them to move up or whatever and get their quarterback. They stuck it out with Goff because of the job that Mark Brunell and probably Ben Johnson and the offensive staff did with Jared Goff. But Mark Brunell is the quarterback coach. Doesn't it make more sense? That to me is a larger body of work. Bring that guy over here. Right on, another Jet. If you're going to do it, do it. Now, the problem is, what do they call? What's Jeremy talking about? Cuckolds? Why are you talking about cuckolds in here, Jeremy? You're very inappropriate. Thank you, John. Look at this. That's beautiful. So the concern is what's being said right here, and even longer than that, though, which is that this is a rinse and repeat. This is essentially, guys, the same formula that we've been employing for decades, which is rookie defensive coordinator, head coach. And a lot of those times with a rookie GM, right? We just did it. Now, granted, Joe Douglas was here for 1 year when he hired Robert Saleh, but it's essentially the same thing. It's the same thing. You had McCagnon and Bowles, right? Then we had Rex came here with Tanny was already here with Mangini, but when Tanny and Mangini were rookies together, what about Terry Bradway and Herm Edwards before them? This is what we do, baby. This is what we do. And before that, it was Parcells. But that's a long time ago, man. We're talking about, what, 2002? Some shit like that? Right, what was it? So we had Parcells, 99. Then we had Al Groh, 2000. Herm Edwards was 2001 with Terry Bradway. So since 2001, we've essentially had this formula. Rookie defensive coordinator with new GM. And we're going to do it again. I mean, like I talked about last week, guys, if his name wasn't Aaron Glenn, same situation. If his name wasn't Aaron Glenn and he wasn't a former Jet great, how do we feel about it? How do we feel about it? You know what I mean? I'll tell you, if it's going to be that, this is what I was talking about on Twitter today. If it's going to be that formula, it had to be Aaron Glenn, right? Like, that's the guy. I agree with that. And I don't hate the choice. I think Aaron Glenn is a quality candidate who has earned his spot. I think he should be a head coach this year. But the Jets and our formula. He falls right into a category, and maybe it works. Like I said today, like, hey, fuck it, stay the course. Just you keep throwing the dart, you just keep it. You just keep, how many times, right? It's got to work. We've been trying this for long enough. It's been 23 years, 24 years of this. Let's just do it again. We got it. It's got to work. It's got to be Aaron Glenn, right? Maybe. And he, supposedly wants the job, and he said it was his dream job and the whole thing. So why not? Well, no, he would be Sonny. He would be our offensive coordinator. That's what I'm saying. So to bump him, because you're not going to likely, you can go and get Doug Peterson or some of these guys that are out there, that are already offensive coordinators. But generally speaking, you're looking at a guy who was a position coach or a passing game coordinator or somebody like that, that's going to get a promotion to offensive coordinator. So I'm just saying that Mark Brunell, in my opinion, has earned that more than Josh McCown. That's all I'm saying. Like, people are ready to give Josh McCown the head coach. I don't know what the fuck he's done. I don't know. I struggle. Now, if the Jets did it and they said, we're going bold, we're taking a swing for the fences. Okay, I'm in, right? We're in anyway. Shit, we had to endure Adam Gase. We had to endure Kotite. We're in no matter what. But if we could be, it's about our mental disposition and how motivated, how happy we are about it. Yeah, Meadowlands Swamp Thing. That's it. Like, if you look at their careers, like, Brunell was a starting, entrenched as a starting quarterback in the NFL for a long time. And then at the end of his career, he did some backup stuff, but he was the Jacksonville Jaguars starter all through the Coughlin years and all that stuff. They went to the AFC Championship game, I think, right? I don't think they made it to the Super Bowl. But yeah, their careers aren't, if you look at it, they're equal length. I think Brunell played one more year, but he also skipped a year in there. Something weird happened. But if you look at their careers, it's like literally Brunell's yards, touchdowns, they're twice what McCown's was. And their career percentage is very close. I think McCown's got him by like a half a point or something like that. Like 60.2 to 59.4, some shit like that. So neither one was the greatest quarterback of all time, but Brunell versus McCown, it's not even a comparison. Yeah, but I get Mo. I don't think it can be understated that it was about the quarterback. They just happened to have the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, a 6th round pick. Like, he stumbled into the greatest quarterback of all time. And I don't want to hear any bullshit that he knew, because he didn't. Nobody knew. They had Drew Bledsoe. They just gave Drew. The year that Drew Bledsoe got crushed by Mo Lewis in the September 11th game, he was just made the first ever $100 million quarterback in NFL history. So let's not get it twisted. They had Drew Bledsoe. That was their guy. He got fucking demolished, and a 6th round pick trotted on the field and ended up being the greatest quarterback of all time. It's just the craziest thing ever. So their prolific offenses, without Tom Brady, we saw it. Belichick had another swing at a 1st round pick quarterback. He had 5 more years without Tom Brady. And he made the playoffs once. They got beat in the wild card game, and every other season was a losing season. And he got fired. Tom Brady, on the other hand, went down to Tampa Bay, a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 10 years, 12 years, whatever it was, and brought them directly to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's really it's a fantastic test study. When we were all worrying, or not worrying, but like wondering, is it Belichick and his genius making Tom Brady, or is it Tom Brady make that shit was decided without question. Belichick struggled for 4 more years, let's say, and Tom Brady went to another team. He'd never been there before. New coaches, Bruce Arians and everybody else. And he brought Gronk with him, right? So there was a couple guys that he was comfortable with that he brought down, but largely brand new franchise who had been sucking. And he took them right to the Super Bowl, and they won. And then the playoffs the next year, and they got beat. You know what I mean? So I don't think I hear what you're saying. Look right now, Dan Quinn is the head coach of the Commanders, right? And look at their offense. I get it. And look, nothing that anybody says ever is across the board, and anything can happen, of course. But what we're talking about is that the Jets have a formula, and we have not been good. And if we hire Aaron Glenn and Lance Newmark, it's the same formula. Now, again, if you're just going to lean on the side of, hey, we're going to stay the course and this shit's going to work, damn it. We're going to get it right. We're going to do the same thing until it works. Okay. But I was ready. I was kind of ready to change it, to change the formula. It's been a long time. I didn't even have a white beard, Bob, when we last were good. I had a brown and red beard. You know? I was a looker. E-Boogie checking in. What's up, buddy? We all know the answer is Flores. I know, that's my guy. And I know, just like with Aaron Glenn, there are things I could say, reasons why. There are knocks on Flores too. But I feel better with the experience, having won in the AFC East, the hatred for Miami, discipline, lack of penalties, like all the stuff that he brings. I like it. I'm ready for that. But I'm not unhappy with Aaron Glenn. I'm just making the case. But as far as our offensive coordinator, so if he's just flew back to Detroit to kind of tell his family and everything, and he's starting to compile his staff, to put his staff together, I think Brunell is a fantastic choice for offensive coordinator. And not for nothing, guys. The big name this year on the offensive head coaching market was Ben Johnson. He just spent the last bunch of years with him, working in his offense. So, and he's been a quarterback in the NFL for almost 20 years, 17 years. He was a Jet for 2 years. He's mentored. He's been a quarterback coach for a complete and utter resurgence of Jared Goff. Now, he threw 3 picks in the loss. So the last game, how good did he do? Oh, fucking Jared Goff threw 3 picks. It happens. But he also threw for 4,600 yards and 37 touchdowns this year. And I think it was 12 interceptions. So that's crazy town. We've never seen that. Never. And he just coached a quarterback that we all thought was hot garbage to those numbers. Let's take a look at McCown. Hold on. Or not McCown, Goff. Jared Goff stats. You guys ready? Here, let's take a look. Let's take a look together as friends. We'll just look at the stats. Here we go. Jared Goff stats. Here we go, everybody. So, again, that's this season. So let's look at it. So he's got 5 years in for the Rams, right? And then 4 years for Detroit. So you look at his completion percentage. Remember, he's with McVay. This is no slouch, right? 54.6% his rookie year, 62, 64.9, 62.9, and then 67%. All right. So as soon as he gets to Detroit, 67.2, 65, 67, 72. So he's he's higher, except for this year here. He's higher every year than he's ever been for a completion percentage. So that's something. He's thrown for 4,000 yards, 4,400 plus in the last 3 years. So he's, his first year there, he does all right, 3,200. But the last 3 years, 4,400, 4,500, 4,600 and change. 29 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns, 37 touchdowns. Look at this. 7 picks, 12 picks, 12 picks. It's crazy. You know what I mean? So, what's this? Comeback player of the year. Pro Bowl. So 2 Pro Bowls in Detroit the last 3 years. So that you can say, I mean, of course, Ben Johnson, but the quarterback coach, the guy directly working with him is Mark Brunell. That's a crazy turnaround, everybody. All right, look. You had 32 touchdowns. This was the Super Bowl year, I think. But 22 touchdowns, 16 picks, 20 touchdowns, 13 picks. Can you guys even see it? Sorry, it's so small. Sorry. So look, 22 touchdowns, 16 picks, 20 touchdowns, 13 picks. This year was good, 32 and 12. But, he comes to Detroit 19 and 8, 29 and 7, 30 and 12, 37 and 12. It's a big turnaround. He was always pretty good. You know what I mean? So that's a pretty good resume. And, he's got everything McCown has and more. So I don't get it. There's like a love affair with McCown. And nobody talks about Brunell. So in this report, it was that Mark Brunell is the guy that he's going to rumored to want to bring with him. If Aaron Glenn does, in fact, take this position as the head coach of the New York Jets, that Mark Brunell is rumored to be the guy he wants to be the OC. And I think it's super crazy smart. You know what I mean, Jelly Beans? Let's see what you guys are talking about. Beefy says Detroit had the number 1 ranked offensive line, and Ben Johnson ran a fast offense instead of controlling the clock. They put up a lot of points, though, man. Won a lot of games. What do they have? 14 wins this year? Something like that. I think they did okay. I wouldn't say he's an idiot. I get what you're saying, but, this is me, Mercy Fate. I'm with you. That's exactly what it is. He learned, that's why you want a guy with experience, because they made their mistakes somewhere else. I think Saleh he might get the Jacksonville job, but I think he would go, if he goes back, he's a defensive coordinator and everything. I think that's the best course. He's going to learn. He's going to be a good head coach someday, I think. Because he's definitely a leader of men, and, he's a smart guy, great defense and all that shit. But it's like, he made a ton of mistakes here. Even if it's just like, dude, I got to hold people accountable. I got lost in the sauce up there. Goes down to Jacksonville and you can kind of reset. But I think best case is for a head coach who gets fired, especially if that was their first job, go do what you do for a couple years and then go get a head coaching job. I think that works better that way, but who knows? Let's see. Here we go. Detroit. Hey, yeah, I just read that one. So what else we got? Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Kubiak I've heard that name floated. I don't know. I would be happy with that one too. Clint Kubiak. Sure. I also like Morton, everybody. Former offensive coordinator here, by the way, was the guy when we had Josh McCown as a quarterback here, was the guy kind of responsible for the fun that we had that year. Josh McCown to Robbie Anderson, remember? It was fun. Well, of course we'll give Glenn a chance. I mean, of course, and I love Aaron Glenn. Don't make no mistake. I'm just saying, like, the idea that two things can't be true is difficult for me. Like, I love Aaron Glenn, and I think that he deserves to be a head coach. I think he's on the upward trajectory, on the ascend. He should get a shot. I'm just saying that the New York Jets do the same thing every single cycle, and it has not worked for a long time, guys. And when it does, like Rex, it worked for 2 years. Mangini, it worked for really, he had the Manginius year, his rookie year, he was 10-6. Then he was 6 wins, 4 wins, whatever I forget. And then he had the 9-7 year with Brett Favre. Now, there's a lot of people who said we never should have fired him, but I don't know. Rex came in and elevated that team, so it was really fun and really great. But it's the same formula over and over and over. We got a first-time GM and a first-time defensive head coach. Okay. I'm glad it's Aaron Glenn. Rusty Spooner, what's up, buddy? He says, with our luck, we'd still be terrible with Bill Walsh. But having Brunell, Glenn together would be a great choice. Brunell knows football, high IQ type of guy. Just need a good staff. Right. And then their other thing they said was Glenn is looking for an experienced defensive coordinator who's already been a head coach in the NFL. Now, why would he do that? Why is that smart? Because you bring somebody in with you who's been there and done it. So it balances that out a little bit. And I like that idea. Now, the rumor is, I don't know, a rumor, but a name that gets tossed around a lot is Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks has been everywhere. He's done everything for a long time. And he does a good job. He didn't do a good job in Arizona. They only gave him 1 year. They brought him in. They drafted Josh Rosen, who was a complete train wreck. And they fucking got rid of both of them. They hired Cliff Kingsbury and they drafted Kyler Murray. So they had a first-round pick quarterback in Josh Rosen, and the next year used their first overall pick on Kyler Murray, and that didn't work either. So Cliff Kingsbury was gone, still getting paid by them, by the way, $7 million a year. So he's doing fine, Kingsbury. He's got Jaden Daniels, and they're going to the NFC Championship. They're doing great. They're doing great. Yeah, Chrono Kenny. Again, I don't understand the McCown love. I'm not anti per se, but I just don't see it. I don't see why anybody would want to give him a head coaching job yet. McCarthy, we talked about this last week. I mean, he makes sense. He took an offensive line coach job or some weird shit. Right? Didn't he? Let me see what he took a job. Mike McCarthy. Let's see what he did. Didn't he take a job? I thought he took a job. Let me see. Maybe not. I thought it was with the Bengals or something. Wait. Let me see. Bengals hire. Yeah, Mike McCarthy. This is today. Mike McCarthy and Scott Peters take over the offensive line. That's Michael. No, that's a different guy. Michael McCarthy. Right? Yeah. That's a different guy. That's what it was. All these guys at the same name. Yeah, you know what he'll do, Stanley? He's going to go down there and in a press conference, he's going to say, you know what to expect from me? All gas, no brake. Expect a lot of all gas, no brake, baby. Let them have it. They'll have a good defense, and I don't know. Who's he going to bring? He lost Ulbricht. Ulbricht is the defensive coordinator for the Falcons. So he goes home, so to speak, right? I know. Why wouldn't we do that? Why? I mean, grab Mangold and let him be our offensive line coach. Why not? I don't get it. You know what I mean? Why not? Why not hire Mangold, everybody? Maybe Aaron Glenwell. Did they ever did they cross paths? I don't think they did. Mangold was 2006, right? I think 2006. Aaron Glenn was long gone by that time. So I don't know. Well, that's always our fear, JV Free. Anytime anybody goes anywhere, we're like, oh no, they're gonna go, they're gonna go be great. I mean, we rarely see it. Usually, like Sammy, it took him 5 years or 4 years and 3 teams, but he had a great year, right? But he Sammied it up in the playoffs. Sammy gonna Sammy. And, and whatever, but he's still a great year. So there's that. People are worried Zach Wilson is going to be man, I'll tell you what, it's the right path. Go and sit as a third string quarterback, no pressure to play, under a true offensive mind, Sean Payton. Best possible scenario for Zach Wilson. So if he's going to do it, I mean, Sammy did the same. So Sammy actually went and started for Carolina, but then he had that sit year with Shanahan. Best thing that could have happened to him. He sat down and he learned. Everybody calm down and just learn, right? So that's it. Well, what about, you're talking about Bart Scott. What about Victor Green? Victor Green has said on Twitter he'd love to coach. He'd love to be a part of Aaron Glenn's coaching staff. But I don't know. You like assistant defensive backs, like particularly safeties. Let him do that. Right? You got to cut your teeth somewhere. Yeah, right, Dom. They're a different guy. I see things fast. I'm like, no way. Really? But I don't know why the Jets didn't interview. I mean, look, we interviewed him last time when we hired Gase instead. So McCarthy could just be like, go to hell. Same thing with Kingsbury. Right? We interviewed both of those guys for the job. They both wanted the job. McCarthy went as far as to say the only team I'll coach this year is the New York Jets. So with that all said, let me tell you about the sponsor of the show. So the great BetUS, everybody. BetUS is still offering you guys the most amazing offer out there today. All you have to do is go to BetUS right there and use the promo code YouTube150, and they're going to give you a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Then your next 2 deposits will get a 125% bonus up to $2,000. It's amazing. It's America's favorite sports book, and you can do everything. It's not just football. All sports, including gymnastics and darts. You can vote on the darts championship, which I love, by the way. I miss playing darts. When I stopped drinking, I stopped playing darts, and I bought a dart board here and there, but nobody plays with them. Nobody wants to play. My kids aren't going to play with me. Darts, I kill them, and they know it. If I was in the dart championship, you can make a lot of money with me on BetUS, everybody. YouTube 150, BetUS. There you go. So Julio Guzman, sorry. Jets are an internship program for future success. Yeah, well, Todd Bowles is he's all right, I guess. I think he's got a ceiling. Todd Bowles, in my opinion, sucks. But, I don't like these guys that just stand there and do nothing. I don't know what that is. Like, I'm a firm believer that, like, the game, like, yes, you coach and you develop the plan, and you're doing all this stuff during the week, but there is 3 hours that you are actually working, and that is during the game. And you do everything you can during the game to figure out a way to win. And if your plan isn't working, you're running around with your coaches and players and you're changing it on the fly. I'm seeing it. This is what's going to work. We got to change and do blah, blah, blah. That's what I like to see. I like to see coaches that are working, yelling at guys, over there talking to players, yelling at the refs. That's what I want to see the whole game. And we've had 8 years of stoicism. Now, Robert Saleh would yell at the ref every now and again, so there was a little bit of that. And he would also get so excited when something good happens that he needed to be held back lest we get a penalty. But man, he just stood there. When shit was going bad, he didn't do shit. He barely spoke. He would just walk around the sideline. And Todd Bowles did the same thing. Rex was running around screaming his fucking head off. He was running around. Didn't work at the end. But he also his roster was decimated. And I think a lot of it was his own damn fault. But, it's a lot there. Fucking Rex, man. But like Parcells, right? We had Parcells here. He was nonstop. He was working the whole game. That's the job. I don't understand these coaches. And we keep bringing them on. The good news with Aaron Glenn is he looks to me like somebody who'll be very engaged and animated and kind of barking orders during the game. That's what makes me. That's what it makes me think. He's badass, you think? I don't know. I don't like Todd Bowles. Dude, their division is dog shit. What was their they did all right this year. I think that's the whole Liam Cohn thing. He gets bounced out of the playoffs as soon as he gets in there. He's better than us. Don't get me wrong. He's improved. I'm saying he's all right, but I think he's capped out. I don't see Todd Bowles out coaching. Like when he gets into the divisional round and the AFC champ or the NFC champion, he ain't out coaching anybody. That what you think? I don't see it. And we haven't seen it. Maybe he does. I don't know. I don't see it. I like coaches that are running around yelling and screaming and fucking freaking out. That's what I like. Sam, what's up, buddy? He says, is Keith Carter still on the Jets? Do you see Parcells' influence in Glenn's hire? Well, I don't know where Keith Carter, I don't think he's going to be. We were making a joke about it on the previous stream. Imagine Aaron Glenn comes in and he gets his press conference and he says, I had a great talk with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to come back next year. We're going to figure out the contract and whatever. Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Devontae Adams is coming back. And I see no reason to break up the continuity, Hackett and Rodgers. They have a great working relationship. And so we're going to keep Hackett and Keith Carter and all that jazz. Imagine. Well, how would you feel then if that shit happened? We're going to keep Keith Carter and Hackett. Oh my God, I would puke. I would puke. He handled Tom Brady. If you want to make the case, they won a Super Bowl. Then they handed the reins. Bruce Arians handed him a pre-built team with the greatest quarterback of all time, and they fell short. If you want to make that argument, he didn't handle shit. You let Tom Brady do Tom Brady things. Dude, that team was built. Bruce Arians built that team and handed it to Todd Bowles, a Super Bowl team. They just won the Super Bowl. And he fell short. Let's just get him out of get Bruce Arians back. Yeah, he's a little old. He's done. Bruce Arians did a great thing with that team. Did you guys know? He hired an additional coaching staff to work specifically with the backups. I've been saying that for, dude, I can't tell you how long. I'm like, why don't they have staff, specific coaches that all their job is to work with the 2s and 3s? Like a quarterback coach, you know, the quarterback coach is most of the time is being given to the starter, no doubt. In most, scenarios, maybe if it's Tom Brady, maybe you don't have to. But like, why aren't they doing that? Hire extra staff. Bring in guys. Their whole job is to work with wide receiver 4 through 6 and the undrafted free agent and the practice squad guys. That's your whole job. Instead of one wide receivers coach who's clearly going to be focused on the starters more. Bruce Arians did that. When he went to Tampa, he hired additional staff to specifically work with the second and third team. Fucking brilliant. Why aren't we all doing that? Budget. I don't know, man. I say do it. Right? Wouldn't that be smart? Dedicated staff. Working with LT3, a dedicated, 2s and 3s defensive line coach. All he's working on is Braden McGregor, Eric Watts, LT3. You know what I mean? It's his whole job. Develop these guys. Seems smart to me. Dante checking in. Says, for the record, every opinion you had on Talking Jets Pod was 10,000% right. We need experience. We need smart decisions. We need better drafting. Yeah. Thank you, Dante. I also agree that I am 10,000% correct. I also agree with that take. It's a very astute take from Dante. Everybody should pay attention because Dante's 10,000% right. That's what I see. Let's see. What else we got here? Who's talking in here? Yeah, totally. Squirmy Weasel. I mean, I don't think he's underrated anymore. He got the Cardinals. Was he no, he wasn't the coach. No, when they made the Super Bowl. Who was that coach again? He was a tight end for the Jets. Remember? A tight end for the Jets coached the Cardinals to the Super Bowl. What was his name again? It's right on the Wisenhunt. Or Wizenhunt, as people like to say. Ooh. There you go. Thank you. That's raising it up, Dante. You see what JV Free did there? Isn't that, doesn't that seem smart? Like, if you really want to develop guys, and then you give, younger coaches, like former players and stuff like that, get them in. Get them started, man. A lot of these guys have coaching dreams. Get them in. Your job is my third stringers. That's your whole fucking job. I want you to spend your whole day working with those guys. I got 3 or 4 backups on that position. That's your job. Those 3 or 4 guys and my practice squad. So maybe 5, 6 guys. Max. I don't know. I mean, 1 year flyer. So, like, what are we doing there, though? You know what I mean? Like, what? How you getting them? What does it cost? Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. I think Levis is not terrible, but I don't think he's. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Levis guy. I think he's one of those guys with a low ceiling. But like if you build the team, like like I say all the time, like you don't need the greatest quarterback ever, but it's fucking helpful. If you have a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, like they hit it, man, with Jaden Daniels. And we were all saying that he was the best quarterback. Remember? We're like, oh, that's the guy. Jaden Daniels, everybody. Who was the first pick? For some reason, I can't remember who was picked over him. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Let me just, I can't remember who it is. Who was it? Duh. I mean, I'm ridiculous in my brain. Caleb Williams. Stupid. Like, come on. Like, why can't I think of it? Now, I think Caleb Williams is going to be a good quarterback, and Ben Johnson going there. I mean, hey, if he brings Brunell, look what he did with Jared Goff, right? The Hennessy checking in. So are we sold on Glenn? Because we all was sold on Saleh and we hated the Gase hires. So if half the fan base likes Glenn, it should work, right? Well, I'll tell you, I wasn't big on Saleh. I found it, you know what I mean? Like I dug in and he was motivational and good defense. I was like, okay. But he was not my guy at all. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. We all hated the Gase hire, and we were right. I think 99% of Jets fans, it was one of the things that we were most aligned on was Adam. I cannot, dude, I thought it was fake. I thought it was a troll report. Like, there's no way with Mike McCarthy saying, I want to be the Jets coach. And then Matt Rule, who just turned around Temple and Baylor in college. And then you got Adam Gase. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know. Am I sold? No, he's not my guy. But I'm not unhappy with it either. Like, again, we have a formula. We're following the same formula that has failed for us for decades. We're doing it again. But if it had to be that, Aaron Glenn is a pretty damn good choice. That's my thoughts on the matter. Dante checking in. Throughout the effing year, people were saying we need an experienced head coach, and now we have a chance to do so, and we want Glenn. I'd rather a guy who had no roster and made the playoffs. I'm with you, man. Dante, you are preaching to the choir, my friend. I mean, look, Mike McCarthy had a bad year, but he had 2 12-win seasons in a row down there. You know what I mean? But I bet, like, look, we didn't really interview that many quality offensive guys. If you want to take a swing on McCown, you can do that. But again, I don't get it. No, I'm not throwing stones at the guy, darts, but it's like, I don't get it. I just don't see the track record. I don't understand where it comes from. But then you got Matt Nagy, who's, he checks all the boxes, but he's not really known as a leader of men. And, he's not very inspiring. And there's some warts, but there's a lot there. Experience, offense, winning record as a head coach, 2 out of 4 playoff years with Mitch Trubisky, who we all know is not very good. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It's like, who else is them? Arthur Smith. I never liked Arthur Smith as a head coaching candidate. There were lots of people. He was their choice that year when we hired Saleh. I was like, please. I was happy with Saleh over Arthur Smith. But that cycle, none of my guys got interviewed. I wanted Greg Roman, Matt Campbell from Iowa State, or I want to say Larry Fitzgerald, but that's wrong. But the guy Fitzgerald from Northwestern I liked. And then we didn't interview any of them. So we interviewed Matt, or is it Matt Dable? I'm tired tonight, I guess. But Dable, he was there. I was like, okay, well, I hope it's him. And we didn't hire him. We hired Saleh. And he hasn't really lit the world on fire with the Giants, but Daniel Jones. So who knows? They're keeping him. I think they should too. I think you give that guy his quarterback and see what he can do. So we're going to hire Aaron Glenn. That's likely. So brace yourselves. So the news is going to come out tomorrow. And that's the way it's going to be. And hopefully he brings Mark Brunell as his offensive coordinator. It looks like maybe Steve Wilks, maybe Antonio Pierce will be the defensive coordinator. They said, the report said he's looking for an experienced defensive coordinator that has head coaching experience. Steve Wilks only has 1 year of head coaching experience in the NFL. Antonio Pierce has a year and a half. But that'd be fun. Those are some badasses. I mean, they're tough. Excuse me. So they're tough son of a bitches. I love the Steve Wilks report that I read before. Don't forget, he was the interim coach when Matt Rule got fired in Carolina. And Robbie Anderson, chosen, was arguing on the sideline with his position coach. Steve Wilks benched him, threw him out of the game, and then traded him to get the fuck off my team. I love it. And the rest of the team went, oh, okay. Okay. I see what's happening around here. You got to do it. You got to make an example out of somebody. Everybody knows this in today's soft ass day and age, right? You gotta put your foot down. And if the first foot that goes over the line, you draw your line, the first foot that goes over, you chop it off. You let everybody know. I wasn't kidding when I drew that line. And they go, okay. Now we know. We will not do that again. You need that. Mr. Forte, what's up, buddy? He says, on a positive, how many times have we hired former Jets? So technically it bucks our trend. There's a wrinkle. But I will see your hiring former Jets and I will raise you. Is it a good idea? The Jets suck. Is it a good idea to keep going to Arwell? Like I said, when are the Jets going to hire a coach who comes from the team that just won it all? When are we going to do that? And Ryan and Matt brought up, well, it's kind of hard when you're the ugly girl at the bar. It's a good point. Good point. Maybe we can't have that. We got to find our wife in a different pool. Because the hotties, it's like I walk into a bar, the hotties, they're not coming for me. They're going for the Brad Pitts. I got to go to tier 3. I got very lucky, though, with my wife. My wife's something else. But I got real lucky, everybody. 17 years I've been married. I ain't letting that one go. Let me tell you the truth. I'm not letting that one go, everybody. I married up. Jay Taylor checking in. He says, I have been struggling with some things in my personal life, and you don't realize how much your show And the Talking Jets show helps me. Thank you for all you do. That is the best. Number one, I'm sorry that you're going through difficult times. Truly. One thing I can tell you, if I may, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but in my experience, I'm 52 years old. I've been homeless more than once, slept in hallways, slept in a van. I've been strung out on heroin. I've lost so much in my life. I have found, not that I want any more, but I have found that those are the moments that I look back to as the moments that forged me into the person that I am, who's able to deal with quite a bit. I got a lot on my shoulders. And so I wish that for you. I hope that these are just forging moments, my friend. And I'm glad that anything that I say do impacts in a positive way. Sincerely, man. So I'm with you, and I appreciate you saying that. Fucking made my night. Because I was having a bad night. I was. Not really bad, but, grumbly. I'm like, I wanted a different coach. That kind of shit. Plus, I got to wake up at 5 a.m. So I'm tired. I've been going all day. I've been going since, I woke up at 5:30, fell back asleep. So 6:30, I've been going all day. And I got to wake up at 5, do it again. So, but anyway, Jay Taylor, I'm with you, my friend. Dante checking back in. If we are the ugly girl, we got to be the ugly sugar mom. That's exactly right, Dante. That's the point. And if we flip it to, I'm a man, so I'll flip it. I know what I am. So I can't walk in thinking I'm Brad Pitt. You have to walk in knowing you're not. See what I mean? There's value there. So you're not. Now, if I want the Brad Pitt level, I got to bring more to it than my good looks, because it ain't going to get the job done. I got to walk in and I got to pull up in a really nice car. I got to make sure my duds are tight, that my beard isn't all unkempt. Matter of fact, I probably shouldn't bring this beard to the party. Quite frankly, if I'm being completely straight, I probably shouldn't bring this beard to the party if I'm looking for Brad Pitt level. They're like, look at that fucking guy. Get out of here. You know what? It's a funny story. So, when I found out that I was no longer young, cool, a long time ago, I was a comedian and I did a show at a college. I think it was in Wilkes-Barre or something like that. It was a college and they had this weird thing. It was like a Survivor type of a show that they did. I never did anything like it before or since. But it was in-house comedians, from the school versus professional comedians. And I was a professional comedian at the time. So I was one of 4 guys, and then they had their 4 comedians. And we knew that somebody from the place was going to win, and that's fine. And it's whatever. I got paid, so I didn't really give a shit. But so when I got voted off, so it was a voting off thing. This is what someone wrote. And I remember I didn't have a gray beard or anything. I was probably 28, 26, 27, something like that. But I still thought I was cool, young. I mean, I'm in a college. So they voted me off. And this girl wrote, her vote was, one of the judges, when they voted me off, she wrote, the old guy with the beard. She didn't know my name. So she said she voted off the old guy with the beard. And I shit you not, it took me a solid 5 seconds to figure out who she was talking about. I was like, the fuck is that? I'm like, me? I'm the old guy with the beard? Dude, I was like, no, I couldn't believe it. How dare you? I'm hip. That's how I found out. That was the day. I was like, holy shit, the whole ride home. I was like, I guess it was 2.5 hours or something. From Pennsylvania to where I lived. I lived in, it's probably in West Orange at the time. I used to have an apartment on the corner of Eagle Rock and Maine, across from Gaffer's Pub. Yeah, so I drove all the way home like, what a bitch. I can't believe. I couldn't believe it. That's how I found. That's how I found out. So, yeah, if I'm going in, I got to bring the money. You're the Jets. You got to bring the money. And you got to give them control and all those kinds of, you got to dangle lots of shiny things. You can't go, hey, if you win in New York, you're going to be a legend. Yeah, great. You said that for 30 years. Nobody cares. Nobody's a legend here. Everybody dies. Everybody leaves here a shell of themselves. Zoink Nation checking in. At for free Woody Limp Johnson. What does that mean? I don't know what that means, Zoink. For real. For real at. Yeah. Am I old? At for real Woody Limp Johnson. At for free? Free Woody Limp Johnson. Are you saying fire him? That's what I think you're saying. I don't know. I don't know what that means, buddy. I'm sorry. JB Free checking in. Jennifer Welter and Katie Sowers. I don't know who either one of those people are, JB Free. I really don't know. I know. Yeah, well, the JB Free, I'm sure you're busting balls anyway. But thank you. So Dante says, if I were Woody, I would have paid Vrabel so much money. Right. But I'm saying I would have said to him, dude, look, what do you need? You want to pick the GM? You want to be the football czar? You want $15 million a year? Because here it is. You write a number on this check. Yours. How many years? 6? No problem. $15 million a year, 6 years guaranteed. That's what I would have did. If that was my guy, which he was, that's what I would have did. I said, fucking pick your GM. Pick the guy you want to work with that's going to be in control of the personnel. Build your staff. We're going to do it this way. You're the director of football operations. You're buying the groceries, cooking the dinner. Arbiv checking in. Do you think Glenn is the 33rd team recommendation, or Woody feels Glenn will sell more tickets? Seems like a Woody. I don't know. I think Woody's making the decision, period. I think the 33rd team is bringing the people in, but I think it makes sense. I think it's probably both. Look, I mean, again, he's not the guy that I would have necessarily chosen. Again, I'm not in the interviews, so maybe he would be, but just from where I stand, as much as I love Aaron Glenn, and I do, he wouldn't have been the guy I chose for the reasons I stated 70 fucking times. But it makes sense. You know what I mean? I could totally see Tannenbaum and those guys loving Aaron Glenn, and Woody Johnson loving Aaron Glenn. Woody was here when Aaron Glenn was here. And don't forget, he gave, Aaron Glenn started his foray back into the NFL with the Jets. He was our scout for 2 years for the Jets. Right? Yeah, I mean, I might not even have been 28. I might have been like 26, I think. I know, now I'm 52. Shit, man. That was a long time ago. I remember that. The old guy with the beard. I was like, I literally looked around. I'm like, there's nobody with a beard. Who's he? Oh, my God. There's no old guys up here. What's this? Fucking people are crazy. Sodak. There he is. Really thought with Woody's age we'd go for. Remember, like when Leon Hess, he made the worst hire ever. He said he stepped in, he fired Pete Carroll and Bruce Koslitz's staff, and he said, they said, why? You never did this before. Why did you step in and fire somebody and hire a coach? He said, because I'm getting old and I deserve some damn happiness from this team. I want to see some success. Rich Kotite, 2 years, 4 wins in 2 years. He resigned out of respect for Leon Hess. He said, I'm not even going to make you make this decision. I'm resigning. And fucking Leon Hess went and stole Bill Parcells from the Patriots. Stole his whole coaching staff. And remember how he did it? Like, don't forget, guys, Bill Belichick was the head coach of the New York Jets twice and never coached a game for us. When Bill Parcells in the contract thing, we hired his staff and we made Bill Belichick the head coach for a minute. And that's how we did it. And then he stole Parcells, and then Parcells and Tannenbaum and Leon, they stole Curtis Martin from the Patriots. That was brutal what we did to them. If we would have just got a ring out of it. You know what I mean? I'm old. Yeah. I hear you, dude. It's like you get to a point in life, like a lot of people, and whatever anybody does, I rarely judge people anymore, right? Like I just, whatever the fuck puts the boog in your boogie, dude. Like whatever you got to do. But you see a lot of people out there, like they're always trying to kind of keep their youth, with whatever it is, Botox or whatever. Again, I got lots of people in my family that I love and friends that do that shit. I don't have a fucking horse in the race. But for me, I'm just like, you get to a point where you're like, yeah, all right, well, I'm an elder now, all right. It's like, look, like, yeah, I was at a meeting recently and a guy, he was a speaker at a meeting and he spoke and I haven't seen him in a while. So I chatted with him. I said, hey, it's good to see you. I said, how you been? He said, dude, I'm happy to be alive. He's old. He was like, 80. I said, oh, really? I said, no. He said, well, the alternative. No, he said, I'm happy to be growing old. And I said, really? That's an interesting comment. He said, well, the alternative. I said, not everybody gets this. Enjoy it. Not everybody gets to grow old. Fucking enjoy it, man. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm stressed all the time. I'm working way too hard, everybody. But hopefully not for much longer. That's the goal. I'm putting it all in there again. Like I've done this a few times. This is the last time. If this doesn't work, what I'm doing right now, I'm telling you guys, I'm just going to I'm going to pack it in. I'm going to buy a little fucking RV. That's it. This is what we got. You want to leave me? Then you divorce me. I'm not doing it anymore. Like, this is it. This is the last burst for me. 52, starting a new business. This is the one. The last time. For free. Wait a minute. So you were doing that super chat wait, hold on, Sodak. So for free, is that an exclamation point or an L? So you were, all right, Zoink. You were adding for Freel here. That's what you were doing. Okay. All right. It's coming together. I got it. I'm not the guy to be pessimistic or one to say shit like this, but it feels like we're going to regret the day we fired JD with all his fault. I don't know, man. Like, look, you guys know I supported JD through most of the shit. Like, I thought he was doing much more good than bad. And especially with our history of GMs being just complete train wrecks. But 6 years he was given. 6. He had 3 quarterbacks, 2 head coaches. The first one he didn't pick, but he had Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. And we've never won more than 7 games in his years here. Like, dude, it's enough is enough. It's not working. So, I mean, we might, but it had to happen. It just is. It's just the way it is. You can't give somebody another contract 4 more years. 10 years, he's never even gotten to 500. You know what I mean? Oh, that's funny. You're kind of an asshole. All right. So he says, GreenBean, you're 52, but it looks like you make an effort to look older than that. I don't. I'm just this fucking old. If I shaved my beard, I would instantly, believe me when I tell you, it happened all the time when I used to shave it. I don't shave it anymore. But not since I've been GreenBean anyway. I lose like 15 years instantly. 10 years, let's say. But look, my hair's not gray. You know, I still have colored hair. I have a little gray patch right here. If I go to work and shit, I look like I'm not always wearing a hat. So screw you, man. That's pretty funny though. You look like you're trying to be older. I'm definitely not. Dude, when you never sleep and you're stressed, shit happens. I try to eat well, but I don't succeed. Dante, I was reading up on the Jets Parcells era. Imagine, oh, dude, it was the best. That 1999 year, there was no doubt in my mind we were the best team in the NFL. And Vinny went down game 1. And it took us too long to figure out. When we got Ray Lucas in, dude, we were playing the best football in the NFL. We were kicking the shit out of everybody. And we needed one more game. We were one game out of the playoffs. We got to 8-8, and we traded Keyshawn. It was fucking brutal, dude. Oh, see, Dante thought I was in my mid-40s, JV Free, you bastard. See? Dante's nice. JV Free's mean. JV Free is one comment away from blasting me every single show. Ready to rip me a new ass. Every show. Right, that's what I'm saying, Gary. That's the way. Age with honor. All right, well, listen, it's 11:43. I'm getting out of here. An hour and 15 minutes is good enough. I do want to remind you guys about the great BetUS offer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. All you have to do is use the promo code YouTube150. America's favorite sports book for good reason. Get in on the offer, man. Here's not financial advice. Take the Commanders all day this week. Philly's reeling. Washington's flying. They're going to the Super Bowl, man. Jaden Daniels, rookie. You'll see. That's my 2 cents on the matter. BetUS, thank you for sponsoring the show. With that all said, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was fun. This is my favorite thing to do, I think. It's my favorite show. Wish it wasn't so late. We could hang out all night. I started this shit when I was in the RV. I had no job. I had nowhere to go. I was just like, I would just talk till 2 a.m. Can't do that anymore. Guys, have a good night. I'll see you Thursday for the Thursday. Think of it 8 p.m. right here with Gunny and Dom C. We'll have some fun. Enjoy the rest of your night, fellas.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.